Welcome back to What's the Dill, episode 40. Thank you all for checking back in, whether you're watching this on YouTube, listening to this on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. I don't really know who listens to anything on Google Podcasts. I'm sure there's some Android users out there who listen to their podcasts on Google Podcasts and probably love it. We're still in the Lenten season. We are a couple weeks in, and I wanted to make another episode on Lent and the sacrifices and the convictions we have to make these sacrifices. And I think for me, something that's been on my heart is Lent as a time to realize that I am not the center of the universe. God is. It's not even the sun. It's not even the earth is the center of the universe. God is the center of the universe. And these sacrifices, this fasting, these things that we do, these things that I'm doing during these 40 days, 40 plus days, is to put God more at the center of my heart and the center of my universe. It's so easy for me to just get wrapped up in the everyday things of life, the everyday stresses. Like I wake up, get ready for work, maybe you're getting ready for work or school, and we start the day and there's tasks and there's personal tasks and there's the admin of life and there's work, school, life, family. And things really can get in the way. So this Lent, some of the fasting and the extra things I'm doing, the extra prayer that I've been doing, has been a really, really great way to reorient me to realize I'm not the center of the universe, but that I need God in my life. And what's so funny is like the sacrifices, these fasting, they're not incredible. I've eaten during Lent. I've had some big meals. It's not like I'm fasting for a week straight or, I'm in prayer for 10 hours a day or, I haven't touched my phone or radio or anything. It's like I've just done like little fasts and I feel like these monumental things I'm doing. I'm like, man, the cross I am bearing this Lent is big. I am doing big things this Lent. But I feel like God can take these little sacrifices I'm making and actually make big change in my life. Classic God. Classic God over delivering. So it's been really good for me this Lent to realize that I am not the center of the universe. And I feel like realizing that I'm not the center of the universe, but that God is the center of the universe, helps address a really common lie out there in society. And this lie is that life with Christ is boring, life with Christ is a waste of time, life with Christ will never satisfy you. But that is such a strong and big lie because it's the exact opposite of that. Life with Jesus fulfills each one of us more than anything in this earth ever could. Life with Jesus is the greatest adventure that ever has been and ever will be. And life with Christ is something that is going to satisfy each of us so we will no longer hunger and thirst for the things of this world. And Lent is a great time to take away some of the things of the world, to realize that God actually does fulfill us. God actually does fill us. God actually does satisfy me. So that's what's been on my mind the past week. That's my little meditation, my little couple-minute meditation. Now jumping into a segment. This is the Beatitude of the week, but it's actually going to be the Beatitudettes of the week. And that's going to the 4 doctors of the church who were women. St. Hildegard, St. Catherine of Siena, St. Teresa of Avila, and St. Teresa of Lisieux. The Catholic Church always has had a strong appreciation for women being like leaders of our church. A lot of times people can say, there's, how have women ever had a big impact in the church? But it's like, actually women have had a big time impact on the history of our church and the intellectual tradition of our church. I love St. Teresa of Lisieux. The Little Way is such a powerful medicine for our current times. Our current times, excess, money, power, efficiency, technology. Well, the Little Way is like doing little things with great love and treating people like Jesus, even if they annoy you. It's just like, oh my gosh, could I live up to that standard? Could I live up to that standard of loving people extraordinarily every day, even if they annoy me? It's like, that's hard. That is really, really, really hard. And that's why St. Teresa of Lisieux is so powerful, because she has these everyday things that happen in life that are like so like painfully normal. It's like, oh, like her shoe as a kid, her shoes were like misplaced one morning. She got really upset, and her parents were like, "Why are you so upset?" And she's like, "I like my shoes a certain way." And then she realizes, like, I was acting too childish. It's like, wow, I can relate to that. I can relate to, like, wanting things to be a certain way, or wanting things around my house to be a certain way, and getting upset if things aren't clean enough, or if there's stuff all over the ground. It's like, that's an incredible standard to live up to, that she just constantly did things with great love and treated people with great love, and just, like, completely leaned into Jesus. Just like she says, like, everything I do in my life is just, like, all for Jesus. And again, like, that's why she's a doctor of the church, because she just had this incredible ability to trust God with every fiber of her being and every ounce of her soul. So shout out to all the women out there who are helping clean up sacristans, who are bringing plates and napkins to every church function, who are raising kids right, who are out there being amazing parts of our church. Y'all are a huge part of our church, and on International Women's Day, let's make sure we're shouting out all the holy women out there. Next segment is the Acts of the Apostles, and this is going to go to the entire continent of Africa. Some studies and research just came out about the people, leaving the Catholic Church, coming to the Catholic Church, priests who were becoming priests who were dying, and Africa had a plus 1,000 ratio of priests ordained the past year. So they've gained 1,000 more priests than they had last year. Like priests who've died or who've been defrocked or whatever. But they're now plus 1,000 priests. And, it's very easy to hear these narratives and to watch the news and to see, like, wow, like, the church is really falling apart. And there's so much division that we see every day that, like, it's easy to believe those narratives. But hey, man, the people of Africa, they're living out the faith. And there are people who are following their vocations, and there's nuns, and there's these priests, obviously, who are, like, giving their lives to God, and who are now, like, becoming priests, and who are growing the church in Africa. So let's not forget that, like, hey, in America, like, we're just a part of the church. There's a whole world church out there that we're a part of. So let's not be fooled to think that, like, America is just like, okay, this is the only thing that's happening in our backyard. It's like, no, actually, God is moving in incredible ways all over the world, and Africa is proof of that. And I've even heard of, I've heard communities popping up, people giving their lives to God, who are just, like, drawing deeper and deeper all across the continent. I've never been to Africa. I'd love to go one day. I'm hoping to go. I'd love to meet the people out there and just hear about the spirit they have and how they live their life and how they just, like, appreciate every part of their life over there. And so shout out to Africa. Y'all are living out the Acts of the Apostles this week. And all the priests, all the young priests out there who have been recently ordained in the past year, God bless you. Good luck. If you ever see this, reach out. You ever need anything, I got you. Thank you all for watching and listening to this episode. I appreciate it very, very much. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow us on social media. Lent is still upon us. It's still the Lenten season. Let's not get discouraged if we've fallen back or if we haven't made any sacrifices or choices. There's still time. God still wants us to draw closer to him. Don't listen to those inner voices that are negative that say, oh, you're not good enough, or you can't do this, or it's too late. It's never too late. It's never too late for God. It's never too late for God to work in our hearts. It's never too late. Don't give up. You got this. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for checking out this episode. I'll talk to you all soon. Peace.